It's easy, why dumping on it.
Okay, this week's Torah portion is Bereshit in the beginning. It includes Genesis chapter 1 through chapter 6, verse 8, the Haftorah, Isaiah 42, 5 through 21, and the Brit Hadashah reading, John chapter 1, verses 1 through 17. Here is a calendar so you can see a projection of what this month of October will look like. And then you can see as it follows week to week reading. You start Sunday, and then a little zoom in to this week's Torah portion there. Bereshit, Genesis chapter 3. Now the serpent was cunning beyond any beast of the field that Hashem God had made. He said to the woman, "It is so that God said, you shall not eat of any tree of the garden." The woman said to the serpent, "Of the fruit of any tree of the garden we may eat. But of the fruit of the tree that is in the center of the garden, God said, you shall not eat of it, and you shall not touch it, lest you die." The serpent said to the woman, "It is not so, that you shall surely die. For God knows that on that day you eat of it, your eyes will be open, and you will be like the godly ones who know good and bad." And the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and that enticing it was to the eyes, and that desirable was the tree for awareness. And she took of its fruit, and she ate, and she gave also to her husband with her, and he ate. And then were opened the eyes of both of them, and they realized that naked were they. And they sewed a leaf of a fig tree, and they made themselves waistcloths. They heard the sound of Hashem, God, moving about in the garden, in the direction of the evening sun. And the man hid with his wife from before Hashem, God, in the midst of the tree of the garden. Hashem called out to the man and said to him, "Where are you?" He said, "The sound of you I did hear in the garden, and I was afraid, because naked am I, and so I hid." And he said, "Who told you that you are naked? Could it be that from the tree that I commanded you not to eat of it, you have eaten?" The man said, "The woman whom you gave to be with me, she gave me of the tree, and I ate." And Hashem God said to the woman, "What is it that you have done?" The woman said, "The serpent deceived me, and I ate." And Hashem said to the serpent, "Because you have done this, more accursed are you than any cattle, and than any beast of the field. Upon your belly you shall go, and dust shall you eat all the days of your life. Enmity shall I put between you and between the woman, and between your offspring and between her offspring. He will crush you on your head, and you will hiss at him and bite his heel." To the woman he said, "I will greatly increase your suffering, and your childbearing in pain shall you bear children, and yet for your husband shall your craving be, and he shall rule over you." To Adam he said, "Because you listened to the voice of your wife, and you ate of the tree about which I commanded you, saying, you shall not eat of it, accursed is the ground because of you. Through suffering shall you eat of it all the days of your life. Thorns and thistles shall it sprout for you, and you shall eat the herb of the field. By the sweat of your brow shall you eat bread until you return to the ground, that from it were you taken. For dust you are, and to dust shall you return." The man called the name of his wife Eve, because she was the mother of all living. And Hashem God made for Adam and his wife garments of skin, and he clothed them. And Hashem God said, "Indeed, man has become like the unique one among us to know good and bad, and now lest he put forth his hand and take also of the tree of life, and he will eat and live forever." So Hashem God expelled them from the Garden of Eden to work the ground which he was taken from. And having driven out the man, he stationed to the east of the Garden of Eden the cherubim and the blade of the sword that was ever turning to guard the way to the tree of life.
stomping on it.